Hi, I'm Sujata Upal. I'm the founder of Transition Aid, helping women go through major challenges in their lives and heal from them. The topic I want to talk about today is a sensitive one and not one that is often discussed as it relates to divorce, and that is trauma. We don't equate trauma with divorce. In fact, I followed a whole series of questions on Quora where there was a long discussion about whether divorce can even be traumatic for people. And the overall consensus was that it can't, and I totally disagree with that. And that's really what I want to address, that yes, not only can divorce be traumatic, it often is. And so we need to address that, and we need to start getting to understand why it is so that we can help women who are going through that move forward and heal after going through the trauma of divorce, which it often is. Before we can discuss that, let's talk about what trauma is. And usually we equate trauma with physical violence or violation of some sort, and that, of course, is traumatic and is definitely trauma. But at the same time, we don't often talk about the emotional trauma that people go through. And physical trauma can come with emotional trauma, but there's also emotional trauma that is not always um, accompanied by physical trauma. And yet it is no less traumatic for the person who is going through it. So, what is trauma then? People see trauma as an event, and often there is an event, but the trauma is caused not just by the event, and it could be the event is just the beginning, but trauma is a shocking event or series of events that happens in your life that threatens your safety, and then it is followed by disconnection with people around you, so that you experience something and then you sort of go into your own shell because it's not something that you can talk about because you are now so different in your experience from what other people experience, and therefore you're not able to really connect with other people on that level, or other people don't want to address that issue with you. And that often happens with divorce. And it often is the elephant in the room when people get divorced because it's a choice that you're making. And I've heard that said, you made the choice, now let's move on. When are you dating? When are you going to start letting go and creating a new life for yourself? And all that is well meaning, but it really denies the experience that the person has had. And therefore, it traumatizes the person twice. Because first, you're traumatized by whatever has happened, and secondly, you're traumatized by the fact that you can't really talk about it. So you are in this isolated state by yourself where nobody really understands and even seems to want to understand what you might have gone through. And divorce can be that, especially after a long-term relationship where your entire identity and future and everything that you've envisioned in terms of your financial safety net and security is all tied to the marriage, which now no longer exists. And you're at the precipice of finding out, well, what is it that who am I if I'm not a wife or a mother or whatever it is that you're leaving. And so it can be very traumatic, as can the process of divorce be very traumatic. So there are so many aspects of it that need to be understood and examined, which people deny. The social messaging is really truly to just bury it and not just even deny it, but really just like as if it didn't happen. So you could be married for 15, 20 years and people are like, well, you're okay, he's okay, everything is fine, you decided, well, good thing, it's all done. And yes, you did make a choice, and you're probably happy about the fact that you made the choice. Sometimes maybe you're not, maybe you were not the one making the choice, but you wouldn't want to be in a relationship where the person was not really desiring to be with you. All that is fine, but the process and what you go through to recover from it, or heal from it rather, I don't know that recovery is a good word, because really you never recover from something like that. It's a healing process. um, is traumatic and can be, and the only way to really address that is to start having a dialogue about it, to be open about it, and to, if you have a friend or a relative who's going through that, to encourage them to at least acknowledge the experience of trauma. And once we can do that, we can help people move forward past it by acknowledging it, validating the experience, and then healing enough so that they can finally release that and then move forward. So that's really the core message I wanted to discuss here, because if we don't acknowledge and heal and accept from the experience of trauma that comes with divorce, then we not only cause that person to remain in that trauma or carry that trauma for the rest of their life, but also they would pass it on to their children, and those children will pass it to their children after that, because trauma is generational. It can be carried on generation to generation to generation. So in order to avoid that, we want to help people see the truth of their experience and acknowledge it and validate it, and so that they can figure out what they need to do to heal themselves. And we want to help them as much as we possibly can to go through that. So if you or anyone you know has experienced trauma and would like to know more about how to heal from it, please take advantage of a free clarity session that I offer. And you can do that by going to bit.ly / clarity session with Sue. And that's bit.ly / clarity session with Sue. That's SU. And that will take you to my calendar, and you can book an appointment, and we can talk about whatever it is that you're experiencing in context of your life, and how I might be able to help, or what you need to do to help yourself move forward. So I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for watching my video, and good luck.